Wow, what an inspiration.
Please help me in welcoming Brian Stone.
Good morning, and thank you. If I were to ask you what is the most valuable, precious thing that's yours, I'd probably get a whole list of things. Some of you may say their family, home, car, and the list would go on and on. But what I found, what was the most valuable thing, is time. Time is the most valuable and precious thing you have to give. And as I prepared for speaking to you today, I was reminded of how it felt to be back in school, and it brought back many vivid memories. The smell of new textbooks, the sounds of chalk writing on the chalkboard, and the fury of the cafeteria. Although it was a long time ago, it seems fresh in my mind. One memory stands out more than the rest, a memory of both pain and rebirth. I was 12 years old, and I had just entered the 6th grade. I was in my 2nd month of mainstreaming from a special education school to a public school where my twin brother had attended. This transition was tough, and I struggled a lot with the change. It was October 23rd, 1978, and as I sat in class, I could hear the fire engines passing, and I could start to smell the smell of smoke. The principal had just walked in and asked me to follow her to the office where my mom was standing. She was there to pick us up. Prior to that moment, the highway to our house had been closed due to a fire. A few hours later, we were allowed to pass through the barricade, and it was devastating. It looked like the road to Baghdad, like nothing I'd ever seen before. As we drove over the mountain, you could see nothing but smoke and fires off to the side. As we turned down the street, you could see there was no houses left. There was nothing left but standing chimneys. And as we pulled onto the property, I could see my father was there already in his work truck. My father had driven through the fire to get to the house to watch it burn. This was the first time I had seen my father cry. My father had spent all of his free time working on the house for the past 14 years, and he had built a successful fence company there. He had also just completed 2 large room additions 2 weeks prior to the fire. That evening, my father took us to a motel. He took us to a motel and left us. He left us and went on a 5-day drinking binge. That was not what we needed as a family, and that was not what I needed as a young boy. After moving into a FEMA trailer, I needed something positive in my life, and I've been watching a lot of movies lately on the martial arts, and what better therapy, physically and mentally. There I started my journey with the martial arts and my rebirth. I'd like to talk to you about my relationship with Brett. Our relationship goes back almost 40 years. He had recently opened up a karate studio with Bob Burbage, another Chuck Norris black belt, and Brett was a Chuck Norris 59th black belt. I started taking private lessons twice a week, and we formed a relationship based on trust, hard work, and perseverance. It was possible. I went from a white belt to a green belt with Brett, and later to earn my black belt. Brett treated me with respect, and in return, that inspired me to work harder for him. Brett made me feel like a gift and not a burden. He was is such an important and pivotal piece of my future successes. Years later, I had moved to Los Angeles to attend college. Brett moved back to Malibu, but we stayed in touch and trained on the weekends. One day, Brett called me and asked if I could meet him at the karate studio, and he asked me to be prompt. As I pulled in, I could see the parking lot was full. Something big was going on. And as I got out of my car, I could see Brett walking over to me. He shook my hand and led me to the door. And as we walked in, there was a large crowd gathered around this gentleman. Brett put his arm around me, and introduced me to Chuck Norris. Brett's introduction was authentic, genuine, and made me feel very proud. You know, I went a long time in my life feeling like I was a burden and my self-esteem was low. But Brett, he was intentional and he was genuine. And I never saw myself as someone who could be a gift to others or someone who could be introduced with such pride to someone like Chuck Norris. I really didn't believe in myself, and Brett showed me that I will never have to face hardship or challenges alone. He gave me the tools to push myself, to step out of my comfort zone, and to also learn that there are opportunities to mentor your mentor. Being a mentor is a two-way street. Brett helped me to better understand myself and to reach my full potential, and I was able to teach him and inspire him as well. It was that one connection that changed my life nearly 40 years ago. Can you think of anyone whose life you've changed? And now, as a personal trainer for almost 20 years, I've been given the opportunity to inspire them, and their stories inspire me. I've learned that availability, accountability, and the ability to listen are important skills. And when you believe, and when they believe in you, that's what makes you a winner. It's not the school board, it's not the school superintendent, it's each and every one of you. It's because of you that the district is what it is. Mentors, teachers, you all have such crucial roles. You're not only teaching academics, but you also have the opportunities to mentor in a way these students can take from them the sense of purpose and self-worth. And they'll carry that with them in their future. You have the ability and the opportunity to change a life in a positive way. Our world is hard. Our world is filled with tons of negativity, but the light for your students, be the positive one. You might be the only one. Thank you.